Why should we, as a country, have less power over our nation than every other devolved nation? We're not an afterthought. We're a thriving nation with a proud heritage and a prouder future. And for that, we need to be a nation that is in control of its own future. Now, if we're going to achieve that, in Cymru we are going to achieve that, we need all the support that we can get. And that includes those of us in Welsh Labour and those who vote Labour as well. Our culture and our political heritage means that there are quite a few of us that believe in socialism. There are many of us in this country who still vote Labour and continue to vote Labour whilst we believe in independence. So the polls this week show that 32% of us in Wales and Cymru support independence. It also shows that 42% of us that vote Labour in Cymru support independence. That's 10% more support in the Labour demographic than in the general public in the country. And I can tell you something else as well. There's a lot of people in Wales that vote Labour. So, if you look at the voting from the Senedd from year before last, and you apply those polling results to your voter turnout and your vote share, what you find is, out of that 32%, actually 15% of that 32% of people supporting independence are ticking a Labour box at an election, and 12.6% of that 32% is ticking a Plaid Cymru box. Because of that, the size of the Labour vote, I'm actually standing here from the party that represents the most independent voters in the country today. I know that's not a popular thing to say, and I am very sorry. But actually, we need to understand as a movement that Labour does represent a big voting bloc for independence, and that is why we are here standing shoulder to shoulder with you. And being as an out-and-out supporter of independence in my party, I don't go anywhere without somebody coming and saying, yeah, I'm a Labour member, or I'm a Labour elected representative, and I support you as well. So there we are. And that's why we're all here today. And that's why I'm proud to be here today and proud to be part of this movement, all under one banner. Well, actually, can I see your banners? Can I see them? That's not all under one banner, that's all under every banner out there. It's great to see. But our road to an independent nation isn't through any one political party or any one group. It is through our movement. And it's a movement that understands that a nation's people has many views and varied politics, but that our nation is at its best when we come together in solidarity and work for a cause. And there is no bigger cause in our country than our right to run it. And together, in solidarity, we can do this. Annibyniaeth dros Cymru. Ein wlad, ein dyfodol. Diolch yn fawr.
OK, diolch yn fawr iawn. Dim ond dau siaradwr arall I fynd nawr, dyn ni bron yna, folks. So gall yr yfed gwirion dechrau wedyn, ynddo fe? Fi'n edrych ymlaen I gael paint. Chi'n edrych ymlaen hefyd, I chi? Oh, what a teg. Yeah, welach chi'n y pub. OK then, we're nearly there, folks. Now this next speaker, he was a revelation, basically, as one of our guest panelists at the Melyn Drafod conference in Abertawe just a couple of months ago, and we're delighted to have him here now to share his thoughts, because this, vitally for us in Wales, gives us the Scottish perspective. Rowch croeso mawr I Mr Robin McAlpine.
Oh, hello everybody. It's so nice to be down here. Absolutely delightful. Every time I come to Wales, and I've been to Wales and indie business about 3 or 4 times in the last few years, every time I come, I leave with a spring in my step. I really do. A real sense of joy, a real sense of excitement. And I was trying to think what it is. Now, of course, it's all of you beautiful Welsh people, and in particular, it's hearing you all speak your beautiful language. The first time I was here, I was in a train, just heading home, and I had a brilliant time, and I was feeling really good. And a group of school kids came in and sat with me in the train and chatted away to themselves in Welsh, and I thought it was the best thing I'd ever heard, and I always enjoy it. But, the more you clap, the less beer we get. Right, so that's not really the reason though. The reason is that sometimes when we're fighting these fights, it can feel like you're fighting it on your own. And these fights take time, and they're hard, and things go well and then they don't, and then they do and then they don't. And throughout it you can feel a little bit on your own, but we're not on our own. Every time I come down here, I remember that we are working with you for the same thing, shoulder to shoulder, your country with your future in your hands, my country with my future in my hands. The Flemish with their country in their hands, and all the rest of the autonomy movements in Europe. And why? Right, okay, I'm going to do a tiny little bit of economics, don't leave. So I just want you to remember one number. This number is a very simple number. Every capital city in Europe takes more than its share of the national wealth. That's what capital cities do. And on average, if you average the whole of Europe, the capital cities of all the economies in Europe take about twice as much wealth as their per capita share out of the nation's GDP. Right, except London. And you should see the graph. Graph it sometime, it's great, because the graph goes like this. And then you've got London, which takes 5 times its share of the nation's wealth. 5 times. If you do the graph, you need to change the entire perspective of it, because the difference between London and every other capital city in Europe is so big. And that's bad enough. But what's really galling is that they take all the money and then they make us feel like we're substandard for giving us a little bit of it back. We exist in an economy which was rigged against us as our nations. And it's not just us. I love Wales, but I love the north of England too, and they're getting screwed by London. And one of the reasons why I believe this is the best thing, not just for us, but the best thing for all of Britain, is because England needs a chance to discover what the hell it is. It isn't just the City of London, it isn't just bankers, and it isn't just that awful mess Westminster. It's a better country too. But if we are all stuck like this, stuck together and in a country that still thinks it's a big deal, even as it's declining, we'll never find those different ways forward. So I started the Commonweal think tank, which is a left-of-centre think tank, and we've done quite a lot of work on the economy of an independent Scotland. But one of the things that keeps coming back to me is when I look at what Scotland's got. Scotland has got enormous resources, and these are resources which are very well suited to the modern world. If you've got space and you've got land, you have the capacity to grow, for example, biocrops. And biocrops are at the heart of an industrial revolution. It's a green industrial revolution, bioplastics, construction materials. And the more of your land that you are not using well, the more economic potential you as a nation have for energy, for resources, for food, for the things that will matter in the 21st century. So Wales is a rich country, a powerful, rich country to my eyes. And of all the things that I've done about the ability for Scotland to be independent, every time I do it, I think, I must pass that down to Wales, because they've sort of got the same opportunities. And they too need to understand, and sometimes I don't think Wales does, needs to understand how strong you are and what a good position you are in to be that nation. So, I won't hold you up too much, because you've been here for ages. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. I absolutely love being invited down. I think this is the 3rd time I've been at Swansea in the last couple of years. And can I just say that from my other 2 visits, it never occurred to me to bring sunblock. So I didn't even know you could get sun in Swansea from the last couple of times I was here. And I'm speaking as someone from Glasgow originally. So thank you so much for inviting me down. It is always a pleasure. I want to leave a couple of things. First of all, a big thank you for something else. In 2014, when we were about to have the referendum, with a couple of weeks to go, someone sent me a video, and it was from you guys. It was a video from Wales, with person after person after person having done a little selfie video. And all those selfie videos said the same thing: go for it, Scotland. And I watched that video with 2 weeks to go. And I'm going to be honest, I watched it with somebody else and I had to pretend I wasn't crying. It meant so much to me. It really did. The solidarity of Wales and everything that we have done has never wavered. We have felt it and we have known it. And I promise you, absolutely promise you, I have been sending pictures from this today up home all the time. And that solidarity is two-way. The second you get your shot at it and you need some people to knock doors, give us a phone, we'll be down. We will help you deliver your country back to you. And this is the last thing that I want to say. On a gorgeous day like this, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a pint, maybe it's a glass of wine. But you must all surely be just about ready to move on and get a little bit of your night going. But when you do, save your energy, because you're going to need it. Because between you and between us, with the state of where we are, we have a task, and it's a big task. We have to dismantle a kingdom. And that is something that we will do together, and when we do, we won't look back. It will be a new future for both of our nations.
Wedes I bod fe'n dda, ynddo fe? Right, okay, now then. So we've come to our final speaker. So I'll make some announcements after that, just all the thank yous and so on. So another super stellar speaker for you now. Lots of things I could say here, but I think what I'll just say instead is Liz Saville, Roberts, Liz Saville. And dyma hi, ar y gair.
Oh, dearie me. A dyna rhywbeth, o'n i ddim yn mynd i ddawnsio, cofiwch. O'n i ddim yn mynd i ddawnsio. Right. Dyna ni yma'n Abertawe. Codwch eich baneri. Lift high those banners. Go on, let's see them in the wind. Let's see them here. Am ddiwrnod, am gynulleidfa. Couldn't ask for a better audience, you couldn't ask for a better day. Even the scaffold is flying Yes Cymru. Fantastic. And we are, of course, we're all of us united against the injustices we face as a nation. So eloquently put by others. Rail funding on water, the attacks on peaceful process, and we've made some noise today. They'll hear it in Westminster. But we're not just here to dwell on the challenges, to describe the status quo. We're here to outline our vision of a better, richer, fairer country, to convince others that Wales isn't destined for eternal poverty. It doesn't have to be like this. I stand here today to tell you that we are more than just a footnote in another people's history. We are a vibrant, resilient and proud nation with more than the capacity to thrive on our own. We know this. And we're here to carry on that proud Welsh tradition, not just of standing tall against injustice, but rising above it to create something so much, much better. Whether it's the Rebecca riots, the miners' strike, or the fight for Welsh language rights, it is in that spirit of resilience that we are here today. And the recently passed Public Order Act, it's seen sweeping powers enacted to curb the right to do what we are doing today, to curb the right to protest. Peaceful protesters arrested simply for wanting an elected head of state. It's our purpose, the purpose of that act, to silence us, to stifle our voices, to suppress our dissent. And what do you know? Keir Starmer just limply nods along to whatever the Tories are saying. But, Cyfeillion, will we allow ourselves to be silenced? No! So let's keep on shouting. Not just about what's wrong. It's easy enough to describe what's wrong, but what we can make better, so much better today. Imagine if we had full control over our natural resources, allowing our communities to reap the benefits from profits from Crown Estate energy. That could power our next industrial revolution, treading light-footed on the planet precious resources of the world. Imagine Wales working with like-minded small nations in the room, addressing the challenges of our age, the climate crisis, our cost of living crisis, the energy crisis. Imagine having the powers over infrastructure and borrowing so we could actually build a decent transport system that allows us to travel north and south without going into another country. Imagine having the ability to craft and fund a decent welfare system that ensures our children can grow up and flourish without the fetters of childhood poverty. It's not normal, Cyfeillion, to have a third of our children living in poverty. It's not normal that people are dying younger, that our living standards are worsening, and that despite the fact that apparently we live in the 6th wealthiest nation state in the world. It's not normal because the United Kingdom and its institutions are not normal. Cyfeillion, derbynwch ddim ohono fo, accept none of it. And speaking as an MP, sometimes you get drawn into Westminster's bizarre, archaic conventions and you start thinking it's normal. But the fact that we still have to observe 19th century rules, and those are the modern ones, that's not normal. Rules that have barely changed specifically because those institutions were and remain designed to maintain and entrench inequality. It's because of that system that allows a handful of billionaires to hoard wealth while families struggle to feed their children. That is disgusting. This isn't a cost of living crisis, Cyfeillion. It's a cost of greed crisis. And this crisis is a result of the choices consciously made in Westminster. Borrowing, taxation, energy regulation, the very powers necessary to address this crisis are jealously guarded there by a government we did not choose, at the say-so of a Prime Minister chosen only by his party MPs, and they dictate to us about democracy. It doesn't have to be like this. We can build a modern, thriving and inclusive European nation. We can be a sanctuary for those seeking refuge, where diversity is celebrated and embraced. We can build an economy where the rights of workers aren't trampled underfoot, but enshrined in our own national constitution of the future. We can build a nation where our LGBT siblings are not demonised, but instead where they can flourish in an environment that cherishes their rights and identities. Give us the tools, Cyfeillion, and we will build this future. And I conclude, we must also be frank about the avenues available for us to achieve this future. And I must give a mention to my colleague David Wigley and his bill that was passed in the Lords on Friday to safeguard our powers in our Senedd. Give us the tools and the materials and we will build this. With this vision otherwise, even though we do our best, it's not possible within a Westminster system that mocks our values and interests. And it is not possible within a beleaguered devolution system constantly under assault. The solution to the bright vision and homespun pragmatism discussed today, bright vision, pragmatism, is Abertawe independence. And although, of course, I stand here as a Plaid Cymru MP, this is not the time for party politics. We must work together for that, the one cause, the major cause of our generation in Wales. And we are, of course, home to anybody who desires a new approach to the old, tired ways of doing the things. So, where does it begin from here on? It begins in the conversations in the pub tonight, in the shop tomorrow, in the office and the workplace on Monday. Our friends, our neighbours, our workmates. Tell your friends why it's not right that we're denied billions in rail funding. Ask your fellow worker if they think it's right that the UK Treasury and the royal family profit from Welsh natural resources. By spreading the word, we will make sure, step by step, that this is how we build the coalition. This is how we will build the Wales of the future. And this is how we will craft a new Wales. So, gwnewch sŵn yma yn Abertawe. Let's make the shout now. The shout that they will hear in Westminster, here in Abertawe, here in Swansea. Abertawe! 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 Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Wel, am ddiweddglo. Reit te, dyn ni wedi dod at y diwedd nawr. Cwbl o ddiolchiadau, os gai. A few thank yous now. So, it's dangerous when you start naming people, isn't it? Because once you start doing that, then you have to name everyone, or you upset people. But I am going to name just a couple, if I may. For the incredible help in organising today, I've got to thank Andrew Murphy of Yes Cymru, Hedd Gwynfor of AOB and all the team there, and Sam and all at Yes Abertawe. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey that we've been on together. And of course, looking out across all of you here, the thousands of you that are here, Charles, Mr. Flag, whose work I can see all around me. Fantastic. Diolch yn fawr. Hefyd, diolch yn fawr iawn I St John's Ambulance, Cyngor Lleol a'r Heddlu. I understand we've probably got a few new members from amongst the ranks of the local police as well. So that's it. Didn't see that coming, did we? Now, it doesn't end here, of course, because there are fringe events going on this afternoon and this evening, so I'll just mention those very quickly, if I may. The poverty panel discussion is kicking off now at 3:30 in the Volcano Theatre. Cofiwch Werthin is a comedy evening. Noel James and friends at the Schooner Inn from 4 o'clock. The Red Poets are here as well. Y Beirdd Cochion, diolch am ddod. They'll be in the No Sign Bar from 3 o'clock till 5. And then there's a Welsh Folk Festival in the Queen's from 5 p.m. Now, we're going to end as we normally end any sort of gathering in Wales. You know, it's the highlight of the event, isn't it? The raffle. You all bought a ticket? Diolch yn fawr iawn i chi gyd am ddod. Siwrne saff gatre. We'll see you all again very soon. Diolch.
Our time is coming. We've broken down the door, and prisoners with a mind. Here's sounds of dragons roaring. Here's sounds of dragons roaring in the valley. Here's sounds of dragons roaring. Pay my power. Here's sounds of dragons roaring.
There's several Roberts over there. Yeah. I like these flags.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Wales. Bangor, Newport, Carmarthen, Rill, Builth Wells, Northwest, Abertawe, Portsmouth, Cogan, Bridgend, Abertawe, Wrexham, Merthyr,